Welcome to the Carnegie Center, everyone. My name is Claudia Lovemeyer, and I'm the coordinator for the Kentucky Black Writers Collaborative. I'm so grateful and honored that you could join us tonight for Say It Loud, Am I My Brother's Keeper? Tonight we hand over the mic to a mighty trio of black poets and an extraordinary musical wonder worker whose voices are going to raise the roof and lift our spirits. J.C. McPherson, Frank X. Walker, Dorian Hairston, and musical guest M. Lightsmith. They are word wizards each, challenging us to remember who black people are, who we have always been, and who we are becoming. You're in for a time tonight. Say It Loud began as the brainchild of Tom Goodell, Claudia Lovemeyer, and J.C. McPherson as a way to amplify, elevate, and celebrate black voices. Though we have changed in the years since we began and find ourselves having to stand firm in these challenging times in which the voices of marginalized artists are being suppressed and sometimes silenced, we remain committed to the vision. Say It Loud is brought to you by our generous sponsors, LexArts, the Kentucky Arts Council, Tom Goodell and Shelda Hale, the Chethick Family Fund to Advance Black Writers, and the Carnegie Center's Kentucky Black Writers Collaborative. Thanks to all our sponsors who have made tonight possible, and thanks to you for coming out. Give yourselves a hand. Now it's my pleasure to introduce you to my friend, J.C. McPherson. J.C. is a Kentucky Colonel Goodwill Ambassador, has a background in creative writing, electricity, and general troubleshooting. He has shot me out of a lot of trouble. A recipient of the 2022-2023 National Leaders of Color Fellowship through South Arts. He is the associate for the Kentucky Black Writers Collaborative, a creative writing instructor, and an arts administrator. J.C. is a member of the Appalachian Poets. We have 3 in the house tonight, including the founder. And he's the author of numerous collections of poetry. He's also a member of the Society of Baseball Research. His writing is an innovative fusion of influences, including music, storytelling, and social commentary. And let me tell you, his words are an experience to hear. Please welcome my partner in good trouble, my right hand and my left brain, the incomparable J.C. McPherson.
I'm excited to be on this bill because, FX is like a big brother to me. Dorian's become like a little brother to me. So that makes me happy. Like Claudia said, I am a member of the Society for American Baseball Research, and I couldn't live with myself if I didn't give a shout out to a great baseball player and cool human being. I got the chance to meet him a couple times. Dave Parker, the Cobra, who played most of his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates and Cincinnati Reds. Incredible power hitter, but perhaps the coolest player who's ever played the game. I mean, he was notorious for bouncing around the Pittsburgh Pirates dugout, just screaming out, if you hear any noise, it's just me and the boys bopping. So, sail on, Dave Parker. I'll start off with this. Hopefully next year, if I can convince Katerina Stoikova to publish it, I'm going to have a collection coming out called Quietly Volatile, which, that's me.
Very Aries.
Yep. And this is the poem. You can't outrun what's been branded into your marrow. Every day a reminder of what was left when everything was taken. Speaking of baseball, my favorite baseball player of all time, Dwight Gooden. And I actually have like this collection that I've been working on for years too, that I'll get done one day, called I'm Looking for Dwight Gooden. I mean, to be like a baseball fan, like be a kid and sitting there watching like this black god on the mound playing for the New York Mets, just throwing lightning bolts just every time he was on the mound. So this is called Lord Charles, or Doc in his hay. A great curveball is called Sir Charles. Dwight Gooden's curveball was so good, they called it Lord Charles. After going 0-2 against his brand of Queen Summer Heat, the way the bottom fell out of the 12-6 curve, a bomb may as well went off in Shea Stadium. All right. I don't ever like to read sappy stuff because, you know, it kind of ruins the image. I try to be all hard and everything. But yeah, a few years ago, it was Thanksgiving night. I had told my partner, Emily, that I wasn't feeling right, and my ear was scratchy. I was gonna go to bed, and I got up in the middle of the night, and my face wasn't working. Freaked out, thought I was having a stroke. Wasn't having a stroke. It's like Bell's palsy had set in. And everybody had told me, like, oh, you'll be all right in like a few months and everything. Like, it never left. I mean, it flares up and it goes. And when it hit, it completely changed life. Like, I completely lost confidence in doing any kind of performance. For the longest time, would just like walk around with my hand over my mouth if I was going to talk to somebody. I loved masking up in COVID. That was incredible for me, so nobody could like see what my face looked like. And it threw off the way that I read, the way that I hit certain words. And I mean, like when you spoken word artist, I mean, that's important. And when you almost have to relearn like your mouth and how you deliver again. And like one of the things that is messed up is kissing somebody. Yeah, because that just, yeah. So before I kissed her without thinking, my lips moved in sync with hers, soft and sure, a choreography we never needed to learn. It was instinct, a language spoken without hesitation. But when Bell's palsy came, my body forgot the words. One side of my face stopped listening, leaving my mouth stiff, half-formed, a broken line in what used to be poetry. The first time I tried, I felt the weight of it, the effort, the awkward press of my uneven lips against hers. I pulled back too quickly, my face burning with shame. I couldn't give her what I once did, couldn't meet her the way I used to. The guilt settled in like a shadow whispering that I'd lost something essential, that I was giving her less now. I wanted to apologize, to tell her I was sorry for the way my body had betrayed us. But the words felt too small for the grief. She didn't wait for my apology. Instead, she cut my face, traced the lines that no longer moved, and kissed me. Not with pity, but with patience, her lips finding mine with a tenderness that broke me open. It's still you, she said. And in that moment, I believed her. Not all at once, but in the way her kisses lingered, in the way she never pulled away from the unevenness, leaning into it instead. I still feel the guilt sometimes, in the stiffness of my smile, in the way I falter before leaning in, but she meets me there every time, teaching me that love isn't symmetry and neither is a kiss. Now each kiss feels like an act of forgiveness for my body, for my fear, for the things I thought I had lost. Her lips pressed against mine, not seeking perfection, but connection, reminding me that even this, even now, is enough. She's cool, man. So, go on, Eugenia. Let's see here. Oh, this is cool. I love space. Space is crazy because from a distance it's incredible, but the closer you get to things in space, they become pretty horrible. And in recent years, we've started to develop the technology where we can actually see black holes. But I could bet $1,000 in this room to anybody right now who can tell me where the term black hole came from. Ha! There, I was about to say if you could, I was just going to be shit out of luck because I ain't got $1,000. There is a scientist who described this freak gravity that they was finding in all these equations. And he said, oh, that must be like black hole of Calcutta. And the black hole of Calcutta was this prison that the Indian Army put some English soldiers in overnight. And it's speculative about how many went in, but very few of them came out the next day. That's just how packed they were in there, and it was just so black, like a black hole, nothing could escape. So I love when I explain these poems, and the poems are 5 lines long. So this is called Love's Taxi Cab's Blues Riff, or Is This Like Spring in Calcutta? What ifs are a prison, almost a simile for black holes, the way eye contact can become a one-night stand to a singularity. Yep. Oh, I didn't know I printed this one out. Cool. I got this series of poems that I think I got like 60 of them now. It's called On My Block. I live off of Georgetown and Price Road in St. Martin's Village. It's the quietest place I've ever lived until Price Road and everything starts acting up. And there's a lot of shootings that take place over there. And yeah, this is called On My Block 6. I've been watching rain fall in front of a high-pressure sodium street light across this dead-end street for some 20-odd minutes. This municipal monstrosity, orange day glows the moment. I could pop the plate on the pole and pull the fuse and darkness would follow. I could. Somebody down Price Road just set off a 500 roll of black cats on a Tuesday in June. It's either trailer park or trap that way. Whichever it is, it's cheaper than the bullets they usually pop the quiet of the night. Moments like this should be crumbled and rolled in hemp leaves, licked and sealed and set ablaze with a fire of some sort that somebody sets, then pass to the left. Anyway, the rain stopped. I'll add to that. I'm going to read one more poem and before I set it off to my brothers. Let's see. Sappy or just streaming probably ain't going to make sense to nobody. Y'all pick. I heard streaming first. So. What? Damn you, Claudia. All right. This is called Making the Bed. This is for Emily Jane. Morning light is quiet, crawling into the window, making a black cat glow. On the walls, the floor, the bed, steady and unrelenting and illuminating. I look at you as you sleep. You, exposed and hidden beneath the comforter, your breath comes in and out, a balanced rhythm, a melody I dance around the edges of the bed to. My movements are slow but deliberate, stepping closer. The coolness of the fan mingles, the warmth radiating from your hip. With practiced ease, I gather the cover, thinking a story lives in their folds. The restless toss and turns, the languid feline stretching, you do. The way two bodies find one another without looking, fingers reading skin through traces, the final curl into slumber. Your eyes part, and you crack a smile, knowing what I'm about to do as you roll into your back, body naked, still calling. Soon the cocoon will hold you again. I throw the flat sheet into the air, popping it 1 or 2 or maybe 3 times until it falls just below your chin. I do the same with the comforter, smoothing them out. It's a small gesture, but in this moment, it's my thank you. I'm building this refuge for you so I can step back and watch you fall again. Sleep soundly, baby girl. The world can wait. I'm up here sweating like Mike Tyson at a spelling bee right now. Mike's smart, but he can't spell. I'll tell you that. Just saying. All right, last poem. Love's Taxicab Blues Revisited, Keep Your Heart, or Mayday. Quote, spaceships don't come equipped with rear view mirrors. Andre 3000, 3 stacks. I've heard you have to lose yourself to find yourself somewhere inside the AM. Every night inside my skull with a flashlight, I'm looking at maps, some labeled and rolled precisely, ready, willing, some. Others faded and creased. Legend no longer what it once was. May as well be a waterlogged Polaroid of some polar void or something that never happened. Or sometimes that happens, but I haven't gotten there. Yet others dig into bone fingernail deep, more like gravel roads that only the locals know. Those kind of roads that even if they told you where to go, you would never find the turn, even on the brightest day of May. We can run away from here, I say. We can push pavement all the way to the coastline. Meet Aunt A.O. for the first time, and I will believe you when you say I'm yours. You see, sometimes moments are a perfect 16 bars over a DJ Premier beat. Day after day fades into the uncertainty of night sounds. Cliche, but there is a reason that it was a dark and stormy night. After night, I felt like I was living in the Oort cloud and wanted to swim to the edge. Take the last inhale of my loud, no longer in hell. I wanted to scream loud, but gravity didn't want nothing to do with me. So I overthink, what if? Ain't no future just laying there. No more second chances to look forward to again. In space, something is always happening. We could have occupied the same place at the same time because I told you things fall apart when the center can't hold on. Not even binary stars collapsing. More like vessels dipping into the same way station, tuning that same station where we hear through the static clapback, automatic with our intentions and indentions made too. Probably good I didn't have a headboard. Have a bit of mercy when the morning comes. Numb me for that trip across the galaxy, back to the hideaway in the middle of the open on Loudon Avenue. Here's to hoping that no one crosses over, trying to ball like Iverson against Jehovah with Chevy Nova tendencies. The best of me comes out in my whispers inside a crowded room. I need a sixer just to bloom, but that's no answer. A cancer on all these ideas born from the city-state. Our haste-tattered arguments about whose turn it is to be right this time. Right this time will be different, and you will believe until your back is turned. But I'm slicker this year. I'm slicker this year. You don't even know that a black hole done swallowed you whole, and there's a whole lot of bullshit being spilled across the Milky Way tonight, but at least we have a tomorrow in front of us. Thank you. Now we got that out of the way. Anybody need to go do anything? Claudia's leaving, look, she post be my ace. let me read the abbreviated bio of our next performer. I gotta read all this. A native of Danville, Kentucky. Frank X. Walker is the first African-American writer to be named Kentucky Poet Laureate. Walker has published 13 collections of poetry, including Turn Me Loose, The Unghosting of Medgar Evers, which was awarded the 2014 NAACP Image Award for Poetry, and the Black Caucus American Library Association Honor Award for Poetry. He won the Heisman Trophy in 1980. Frank Walker.
Youths. Y'all doing? Thank y'all for coming out and risking this weather. You can hear I have a storm brewing in my throat. I'm gonna try not let it be an issue. This is a throat lozenge I'm about to dislodge from my mouth. And that may gross somebody out, but it's poetry. I'm just gonna read, try to read 8 poems for you from a new collection of poems that deal with race and class and golf. Golf. And this whole side of the room laughed when I said it. Which is why these poems exist. The thing about race and history and golf in America is that the history of golf in America is the history of race in America. When you think about golf and black people, most people's brains go straight to Tiger Woods. But there's a 100-year plus history before Tiger Woods even turned pro. And these poems try to cover that period because it's not an accident that much of this history has been hidden from us. Like the name, we should know Ted Rhodes in the same way we know Tiger Woods. Ted was better, but you would know that because you never heard of him. And Ted was one of the first African-American pro golfers. There's this beautiful photo of Ted on the tee box, dressed to the nines with his hat on sideways. And then you pan to the crowd, and the people looking at him have the same faces from pictures from lynchings and bus rides in Arkansas. I mean, the anger on the witnesses watching him play, the resentment, the fear, they're wearing it. It is so powerful that your eyes are pulled immediately from him, his strength and power, to their faces. It's so incongruent. And those are my windows into this conversation that I'm about to share with you. So this is from a photograph, that same photograph I'm mentioning, taken at the Riviera Country Club in progressive Los Angeles. Ted Rhodes on the tee box, bucking math. 1. You problem, you optical illusion, you cryptic puzzle. Look at them trying to solve you. You are a conundrum. They've never seen anything like you before. Nothing about you and what you are doing here makes sense to them. You unquantifiable equation, you are an uncommon denominator. You make them feel less than greater than you. You don't add up. 2. Look at them study you. Look at them imagine you a cadaver. while they dissect you with their eyes, after they remove the club from your hands, slice open and peel off your perfectly creased pinstripes, the natty white sweater swaddling your torso, your white leather shoes, your undergarments, and the knitted tam you wear like a crown. They need to understand how you move so freely, how you keep your head on so straight, what special bones on your spine and feet allow you to walk so tall, how the club in your hand fits better than a rake or a shovel or a hoe. They must examine everything under a microscope, hold it and pass it from one hand to the next until they know how you taught a brute, a brown bomber, to keep his own score, and the size and number of internal organs that allow you to even dare to swing at something white. 3. What is black and beautiful, black and breathing, black and swinging? Teddy, you plus that club times the ball, divided by everything they ever did to keep us from shining, are an unmastered mystery. Just look at them trying to solve you still. I'm going to flash forward to a couple of years ago. I had a chance to see Tiger Woods play, and I wanted to see Tiger Woods play because I once saw Michael Jordan play, and it was, they're icons in my era, and I feel compelled as a fan of sports to try to be connected to that somehow. But it was not what I was expecting. He was playing at the Valhalla Club in Louisville, and there were literally thousands of people following him from hole to hole, talking 5.5 hours, not just staring at him. When he left to walk, they would move. And this whole space that you couldn't even walk through suddenly was empty because they all went to follow Tiger Woods. And there are 60 other players on the course, but thousands are following Tiger Woods. And you listen to the crowd, part of their desire was not to celebrate him, they wanted to see him fail. The things they were saying from the crowd, it was obvious. And not that this is an excuse, many of them were very drunk already, and increasingly so over the course of the day. So imagine this raucous crowd of drunk, mostly white men, looking at Tiger in the same way they were looking at Ted Rhodes. Not much difference. This is called Gallery Mob's Tiger Woods, Valhalla Golf Club, Louisville, Kentucky. Let's call it a sports lynching. This sea of raucous beer bellies and sunburnt faces, this titillating mob crowding the boundaries, pushing and pulling the rope, straining to rake their eyeballs across his body, prosecuting and judging his every move. Thousands will testify, I saw him with my own eyes. I followed him for hours. Let's call it the sports lynching. Imagine the postcard of him swinging, the remixing of the crowd's roar, pointing, rehearsing the retelling. I watched him put it in the hole. He was still wearing the bloody shirt. Let's call it a sports lynching, an ever-tightening noose, a cult of celebrity worship, the cellular memory of his rise and fall, the glove he wore as a souvenir, the belief that if we could just see him swing, they could imagine the rest. Not as funny now, is it? This is called Holmes versus Atlanta. And there were a lot of legal cases that we never heard about during the civil rights era that were tried just to integrate golf courses. And because of the resistance around the idea of golf being integrated, it created this surge of country clubs being started. And what would happen in most cases is that instead of integrating the courses, the people in charge would, at a secret meeting, vote to sell it to some cousin for $1. And now it's private. And then that person would make up their own rules, and it's no longer forced to be integrated because it's no longer a municipal property. This happened all across the South. In my own hometown of Danville, I never touched a golf club as a kid because we weren't allowed on the country club, which was the only place golf happened. And we had a golf team at the high school. Nobody said you couldn't play unless you were rich and white, but it was implied. So this is a story from Atlanta. Holmes versus Atlanta, 1955, which is the name of the court case, to integrate the Bobby Jones Golf Course. The day before Christmas, 3 weeks after Montgomery said, "Bless your hearts, but keep your buses," Atlanta said municipal golf was open to blacks. Cue the anonymous phone calls threatening violence, fears of bloodbaths and a race war, followed by rumors of golf bags filled with guns. But what was so frightening about a black man with a club in his hand, hunting for something white hiding deep in the grass, rising back to strike it in the face, knocking it as far as he can, and strutting after it? Satire. You don't have to clap. I don't need it, but thank you. This is the course case in 1963 where the compromise to integrating the course and to test the safety of it is they allowed the NAACP's Youth Council, teenagers, to play on the course. But the entire police department showed up to guard the course. Not the kids, but the course. And this is a poem called Gallery of Guns and Badges. And it's in the voice of one of the policemen. Imagine the voice of one of the policemen. It made sense to me when I first thought about it. One of those short metal sticks in the right hands is twice the length and therefore twice as lethal as a tire iron, which is a weapon of choice for many colored boys. And that long stick they use to strike the ball first is basically a bat, but even more dangerous than a Louisville Slugger, made out of oak or walnut or cherry. So I eyeballed them everywhere they went, and I fingered my trigger anytime one of them reached into his bag, just in case they smuggled in a firearm or some other dangerous weapon. We talked about standing in the middle of the front yard grass or near one of the little green patches where they put the flags and risking getting hit by the ball just so we could fire off a round or two in self-defense. But they was just kids, not real golfers. They couldn't hit the green with those clubs if it was resisting arrest and standing there with his hands cuffed behind his back. I mean, we talking about Jackson, Mississippi. God damn. All right, a few more and I'll release y'all from this hostage situation. This one is in the direction of humor if you know Bert Williams. Bert Williams was one of the most successful, wealthiest comedians during minstrelsy in America. He was so famous that he was invited to give a command performance before the King and Queen of England. What you don't know about Bert Williams, even if you know his name, is that he was a golfer. And while he was in England, he golfed with the Prince. So this is called Bert Williams Tees Off. And the epigraph says, "He was the funniest man I ever saw and the saddest." W.C. Fields. All of vaudeville, every stage, entertaining anywhere in America that paid required blackface. And I don't mean the one I was born with, but the burnt cork and chalk lips that white performers put on when they wanted to show the world how blackened they preferred to see us. My best me was better than their worst. I was so good I was invited to perform before the King of England. And I had those stuffy old aristocrats in tears, made them laugh till their bellies ached, till they almost pissed themselves. But the newspaper won't say how much they admired my golf swing after a round with Prince Arthur, that when I swung my hardwood and walloped that ball, it was the only time nobody laughed, and I loved it. And I'm gonna close. No, I'm gonna do two more, because I'm still trying to reach humor, so not leave y'all in this place. Hotep ruins golf for me. You know this homoerotic game is just another way for colonizers to re-enslave us, right? What? You don't see the symbolism behind you and your boys chasing your balls around with these phallic tools until you put it in the hole? No, not really. The material used to make the main clubs are made from the same material as shackles, right? Steel and chromium alloy, actually. Open your third eye a little wider. Ask yourself, why is a golf ball the color of the oppressor and footballs and basketballs the color of us? Bruh, that don't even... Okay. The biggest stick is called what? The driver. Get it? As in slave driver? Psh. What about the fairway woods, King? That's the most sinister one. All the fairways are guarded by trees. And nothing was more unfair than lynching. Wait, if any of this nonsense were true, why are there so many black amateurs like me and Dorian playing golf today? What animal would lead a flock of lambs to their own slaughter? I don't know. What? A tiger would. Damn. All right, I'm gonna close with this one to reorient the room. It's called Why I Carry Spirits in My Bag. Almost every plantation had family cemeteries with fenced-in headstones, with separate graves for the enslaved, just a hole, some dirt, and their bones. How many southern golf courses sit on former agricultural estates? How many times have developers bulldozed over original plots of late? Pour some out for lost balls and souls before you finish every new round. If you don't know where the cemetery is when you plan, you might be standing on it. Thank you.
Skirt. All right. Thanks, X-Man. He said I was the youth. I just turned 50. So I'm just, love you, man. Next up, a native of Louisville, Kentucky, Lightsmith, singer-songwriter. Received his bachelor's in music with an emphasis in voice from K-State University. He's been on the Kentucky Arts Council roster of performing artists, as well as KAC's roster for performing teaching artists for over 10 years under his birth name, Marcus Wilkerson. Lightsmith mixes American roots music with rhythms and melodies that span the African diaspora to the American troubadour musings of the 60s and 70s. A talented vocalist, hand drummer, and guitarist, Lightsmith weaves in and out of the genres that cross all cultures with his mixture of acoustic soul and what he calls biorhythmic expression. That's dope. Using the percussion and his body as instrument, Lightsmith feels that he owes his artistry to all of the poets, singers, singer-songwriters, and griots of old across the generations. Give it up, Lightsmith.
I think we'll play a tune called Darkness. A little bit of social-political commentary, we should call. Nowadays, can't even put this damn thing on. I've worn it so much. I've worn all the ties. Ain't no more ties in it. Darkness.
time to waste while the media fucks all the minds of the chase. Human compassion erased, all for the fashionable taste. Imagine a world where children can learn to discern for themselves the interwoven pattern of hate. It's time to get out of the haze, at least for the moment. Families broken, exposed to the sting. How catastrophic and evil, everyone's out to deceive you. Living as scary as walking in a dark and Gothic cathedral. Though your language might perceive, broken likely to believe your masquerade party, sickening sweet, secretly stale. It vacillates between the battling meats, are visibly jaded behind the smiling faces. You're braided by statements, charged but instigated, cut and paste to darkness. 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 Every fat out of control enabled to find your moral code. Look at the people in office, that's the burden they hold. Pulled by the collar of the dollar, been there with days of old. Doing, say anything for money off of the price of your soul. Don't be like them, these are people who would reincarnate as roaches. Future is dim, they hide it in a plaque with any light approaches. Place the blame with a claim, change the language with a game. Change the name to hate and label love with a shame. Darkness. Hey, darkness, darkness. Da 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 da. Our parents' generation fought for everyone here to be free. In the very nation we's always taught was the best place to be. We got a tweeter who thinks he's the leader, the wielder of power that keeps us in state of disease. But he ain't the leader of me. Deep black holes sucking the votes from the pool. The coldest November that I can remember when Trump took control. Teaching everybody in the world to ignore the soul. Please don't allow to be bought, lest you are sure to be sold. Please don't allow to be bought, lest you are sure to be sold. Please don't allow to be bought, lest you are sure to be sold. Please don't allow to be bought, lest you are sure to be sold. Please don't allow to be bought, lest you are sure to be sold. Darkness. Da da. Da 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 da. Thank you. I know I was gonna be up here just playing like, just straight up, so gotta switch it up. I gotta change the, that's cool. That's cool. This song, it's a song I wrote a little bit after my daughter was born. It's called Somebody's Daddy. I've been in cash, I've been trash. I've been told that I would not last. I can be good, I can be clever. Tell you one thing, you can have me forever, but I'm somebody's daddy, and that I cannot change. I'm a dang good daddy, and this day and age is kinda strange. Kinda strange. You want me, I want you. There is plenty that I just won't do. Gone from here on a distant cruise. Chances are, baby, I ain't coming with you. I'm a little girl's daddy and I owe it to a little heart. I'm a damn good daddy because I finished what I start. What I start. Well, you think that you're worthy of receiving my love? Get your hands dirty, stick your feet in the mud. There's wear and tear on every affair. When my name shames the devil, will you still be there? will you still be there? You want love, I got loving. Pull comes the tug, I might have nothing. Either you wait or you go. It could be fate, the ebb and the flow. I'm a little girl's daddy and a to a little heart. I'm a damn good daddy because I finished what I started. I'm a damn good daddy because I finished what I started. I'm a damn good daddy, won't no turn on apart. Thank you. I love the crow. It's my favorite bird. I love it because it has, because it's black. But it does this amazing thing to where it recognizes that you like things. I mean, if it chooses you, if a crow chooses you, I mean, it's forever. You can hardly get rid of a crow if it chooses you. And if it finds out that you like something and it's shiny, oh, that's a win-win for a crow. And I guess I can relate to crow. I'm a people pleaser. And I tend to have this ideal that a lot of us grow into being people pleasing or placating people because we want to avoid conflict, because there's always so many opportunities for conflict in this country, especially if you're at this or you're at that, or you're anything other than white, or anything other than the status quo. And so I'll just say that it is a social political commentary. You probably get it, but understand that I just want you to know that this song was created because I see you, and I see you out there doing your thing. You know, you might be a dancer, you might be a writer, a teacher. You might have dreams that no one could even really see, but you. But what I'm saying is, in singing this song, I can relate. I understand how you might feel singled out in the world. But understand that, that the power is in the murder of crows. crow belongs to the murder. Wherever you're wise to the old crow is heard. If it sees that you care and care alike, the crow will know when share alike. It'll make you the object of its undying love. Don't ask me why, what the crow's made of. It'll follow you close as if you were your own. But sight unseen, they wanna chase away the crow. I see a strong man standing for the man who controls the land. And he made of paper, wood, scraps, cotton, and thread, and a little bit of straw from the nearest straw bed. Hope that the message is clear enough to tell the crow to go away or go straight to hell. And all over the globe, everywhere we go, we build a strong man to chase away the crow. The crow flies high, survivor like I. Strong man moves with the bleeds blown by and swoops his way down to guard its own ground. Endorsed with the force to chase the crow around. What a fallacious and comical sight. Strong man falling for a small man's plight. To light out the light of the sun if it show that it done well enough to chase away the crow. I see as days gone by, a murderer crow on a high darkened sky. Multiply numbers, but somehow though the farmer possessed to chase away the crow. Now the crows to survive, some still thrive. He wall off and push a strong man aside. Man starts running ever so wild, running and jumping like a runaway child. Traditions are long, roots are strong. Took a long time to make the strong man belong. Now it's in the media and the head and heart, creating a whole world that's skirled apart. We all keep scrambling until we all know the power lies on the murder of crow. And all over the globe, everywhere we go. How big can a scarecrow get? As big as it takes to hold the lies in it. It can grow as high as the eye can see, but it never ever scare off a murder like we. So use all your news show guests, sensationalize a topic that you know best. Hide it in the hay that your place just so. You're building a strong man to chase away the crow. You're building a strong man to chase away the crow. All over the globe, everywhere we go. All over the globe, everywhere we go, we build a strong man to chase away the crow. Thank you.
Dorian Hairston.
JC, as always, thank you for that lovely introduction. I'm going to say I was not planning on reading anything from the book. I was going to read just new stuff. But because you think so highly of it, I'm going to read one from the book, and then I'll throw some new stuff out. So I wrote this book, Pretend the Ball's Named Jim Crow, the story of Josh Gibson, that tells the story of Josh Gibson, as JC just said, the greatest ball player to ever play the game. And as we're gathered here today, one of the things that I'm thinking about is the spaces that we create. What do they look like, and what do we do in those? So this first one is titled Cooperstown, which, for those of y'all who don't know, is where we memorialize the greatest ball players to ever play. And Hooks Tinker is the individual that's oftentimes credited with discovering Josh Gibson. And this is a persona poem from his point of view, titled Cooperstown. Everything about baseball white, but it's the Negro that make it a game. I've seen more out our version of play in a single 9 innings than a whole season of theirs. Baseball and this country already missed their chance to make all this mess right. They should have never been afraid of their mediocrity, never feared being shown up. If there is one example sufficient to knock out all they nonsense about their superiority, it's that time Josh flattened a fastball from their league's so-called MVP, Dizzy Dean. Josh hit that ball so hard, Dean took himself out the game. This is how we know every record they hold before integration is a lie. Now, it does feel good to see Josh's face mixed in with all them greats, bronze profiles making him seem immortal to all the living. But what I want to see, what Josh would have loved, is when they hang up our portraits, salute all our genius and power, all our finesse and flair, praise every drop of beauty, let all your fear go. Then, and only then, do I give you the right, the permission to say, play ball. And that is a true story. Josh Gibson did have Dean out the game on his own accord. So this next stuff I'm going to read, you all are catching me at the end of Governor's School for the Arts. I just did 3 weeks as one of 3 faculty members for the creative writing for the first session at the University of Kentucky. I am exhausted. I just got back from Cleveland, Ohio, with my mother, where we were on the field before the game, being acknowledged for their Black Excellence evening for this collection of poetry, and I got in at 2:50 in the morning, and was at graduation at 10. So, bear with me. So, this next collection that I've been working on, one of the things that I missed, didn't miss. I mean, it's over 100 pages. You got to stop somewhere. So one of the things that I want to explore in this next collection is what did the owners of Negro League baseball teams say and think about and do? And one of those individuals is Gus Greenlee, who owned pretty much all of Pittsburgh. He actually owned the baseball field that the Pittsburgh Crawfords and the Homestead Grays played on. And he was the owner of the Homestead Grays, and he had a restaurant as well. And he was also running numbers in Pittsburgh, or in charge of, in some aspect of numbers running. And this is Numbers Running, Gus Greenlee. Black folk resourceful enough to smuggle rice across the Atlantic, turn kitchen scraps into luxurious dining, sneak spirits into songs, pluck roots, and manipulate their properties into something that can pick you up so high your great-grandmother start talking to you. White folk and language get real funny when they start talking about employment, how jobs should really only work for themselves. And after all these generations, they still struggle to find placement for us. And that is where some of them lighter folk of our country, but the ones that still got a little color, get it wrong. Light complexion folks, ones with minds as pale as they skin, ain't never make nothing for us, at least nothing good or worth sweat or blood. Instead, everything they love made by us, they music, clothes, flag, country, recipes, all stolen from the creativity we got wound tight in the coils and kinks of our hair, and the artistic dialect we sidestep their gaze with. When we take the mind to create space for ourselves, call the community together using the networks crafted in and out of the slave ship and the plantation and the battlefield and the cotton one and them rice and sugar cane and tobacco ones too, we raise up the genius of the blackness in our souls and commune as if, dare I say, we are the real humans. They get it wrong when they tell themselves we was running from them when we picked ourselves up in the night and hopscotched the tree shadows cast by the dim stars during new moons to the brightest one in the sky. Truth is, we so fast, our march look like a sprint. Deliberate steps in any direction look like fleeing if you're always creeping, following, spying on us. They hate themselves. That's why they ban our music, our dance, our song. Pretty soon, they'll ban our dress, our hair, all the way until folk fine with saying that the head on our shoulders and the breath in our lungs ain't welcome here, not never. We love us. That's why at every rounding of the base, at every street corner, in my parts of the city, there exists real opportunity for my folk to be free. I got cooks and waiters and pushers and runners and dancers and blowers of horns and others too, and lenders and bakers and players all on the payroll. If there is a single black person in this city unemployed, it ain't because of me. And when it come time to pick some numbers, play the version of the lottery that's so black that them whites done made it illegal, know that my cut, after I've got it all counted up, is sprinting itself back into the community right down there at Greenlee Field. Thank you. So this is a contrapuntal. So Effa Manley is in the Hall of Fame. She's actually the only woman in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. She co-owned the Newark Eagles with her husband Abe, who we'll hear from in a second. And she used the police to try to police black folks at the park that she felt were acting unruly. So this is her and a character that is critical of some of the decisions that she made. So the first side's Effa, and then the rest you should be able to figure it out. There is no place for drunkenness at the park. We black folk must remain virtuous at all crossroads, since it makes little sense to squeeze coppers together and be intoxicated as they consider colonizing our whole culture, the park, the players, the fans. Never give ownership a bloody cent. Turn entire institutions to ashes by not so subtly dropping bombs and bullets around the entire community. Understand this, black folk. If we are not careful, acting how we act can warrant the inevitable death of our people. Other side. The bar across the street where police stake out to ensure we remain publicly respectable be our only opportunity to escape to freedom, to steal ourselves away to the blues, while underneath their voyeuristic gaze we sing, ignoring their attempts to contemplate confiscation of stuff that can't belong to nobody. But then again, these the same folk conjuring the police in the first place. Badge numbers shielding property for those possessing assets to preserve. Once we call the police, every movement after reinforces their service and protection, translating to the ungodly profits of whiteness. Altogether, there is no place for the bar across the street where police stake out drunkenness at the park to ensure we remain publicly respectable. We black folk must be our only opportunity to remain virtuous at all crossroads, escape to freedom, since it makes little sense to steal ourselves away to the blues, to squeeze coppers together, and while underneath their voyeuristic gaze we be intoxicated as they sing, ignoring their attempts to consider colonizing, contemplate confiscation of our whole culture, the park, the players, the fans, stuff that can't belong to nobody, and never give ownership a bloody cent. But then again, these the same folk turn entire institutions to ashes by conjuring the police in the first place, not so subtly dropping bombs and bullets, badge numbers, shielding property around the entire community for those possessing assets to preserve. Understand this, black folk. Once we call the police, if we are not careful, every movement after reinforces acting how we act can warrant their service and protection, translating the inevitable death of our people to the ungodly profits of whiteness. Two? Okay, all right. So this next one is Abe Manley, and this is so during some of the research for this book and some of the research for the first one, I found that what Major League Baseball scouts called themselves ivory hunters whenever they were going looking for prospective talent. With that language, considering early on scouts were literally plucking Negro League baseball players, black ball players from black institutions, underpaying them and dismantling those institutions in the process, Abe Manley, Effa's husband, had some things to say. Ivory hunters. Over in Brooklyn, New York, St. Louis and Boston and Detroit and Cleveland, they got ivory hunters who wasted their time poaching minor leagues and soon these Negro ones for talented and developing elephants. It is a shame, should be criminal and no doubt sinful to think you can rename these fauna beast to justify your hunt and with devilish precision rid the earth of our creator's graceful soul in a not so intricate game of target practice, which you have mistagged as sport. Only you can convert this brutal root canal into some form of business, a religion worshiping endless prophetic dead presidents who no doubt forcibly displace limbs and villages and families and tongues for speaking true in this non-consensual extraction of teeth, transplanting all into the first blasphemous mouth, replacing rotting, sugar-ridden, decaying, decrepit dentition with stolen, healthy black ones. Your kinfolk stacked buffalo carcasses into an asymmetrical pyramid of profanity and abomination, an unjustifiable attempt at the Tower of Babel. Here's the plan. Once we have enough money to protect the sanctity of creation, we will replace the ivory tusk with black bones and call the glossy enamel black ivory and agree whenever anything European seeks to extract beauty for profit, we do some ivory hunting ourselves. So that was the penultimate one. I'm a little humor, lighter note. I grew up in the church, and my mother used to give me Werther's and a notebook and a hymnal to keep me quiet, because I wanted to tell her stories the entire sermon, and that's a whole problem. This is a story about me dropping the hymnal because I fell asleep. Pay attention. It's not entirely true. There's a little bit of embellishment. Rev's sermons were spent dreaming heaven might slip through the massive painting of fair-skinned Jesus who was almost black while he pet a sheep plastered above the baptism pool behind the choir and pulpit. And when the Son of God's chest opened, out would walk a perfect assemblage of each centerfold angel in slim swimsuit from the Jet and Ebony magazines. I stole out the recycling and hid under my brother's side of the sink in case I ever got caught. Reading the articles too closely, and I would see her, this unnamed imagined goddess, walking down a golden staircase made of cloud fluff, shaped like the woolly sheep Jesus was just petting before his torso gave birth. And there was one time, right when everyone started shouting, I almost lost focus until the smell of her cocoa sweat carried itself across a rainbow made by the stained glass window at the end of the pew, shimmering off one of those angelic beads of perspiration from a long day of posing beachside, which rested near that loose-fitting diamond chain around her belly, straight past my baby mustache, and weaving through teeny nose hairs, causing a kind of snort. And magically, her dissension ends, meeting me at the bottom step, where I slump back as she leans forward, my lips open, prepped for the Sunday school's lesson on how to know a woman biblically. And I learned the meaning of life in this church, how to hold the entire world in your hands. And as I reach my empty palms, praising his creation in complete surrender, reaching like the grandmothers do when they catch the spirit for the ancestors, for heaven's gate, for something soft. She smacks me across the back of my head, where looking down, dazed and slightly concussed, I notice the Werthers my mother had given me sprawled across the top of the hymnal. I dropped in my doze state, triggering the entire congregation because the impact resembled an explosion that caused a church fan to assault me. Thank you.
The song is called 21 Hill Street. I'm from Louisville, so every now and then I get an inspiration to write a authentically Louisville poem. Now, those of you who might be from Louisville, probably no one in the audience, but they would know that what I'm referring to, 21 Hill Street, it's a fictitious bus because it's actually 27 Hill Street, and 21st or 21 would be Chestnut. But I combined them two just because, I don't know, it just kind of rolled off, sounded right. I liked it. So it's kind of a love song, so bear with me here. It's been a while since I played this. Rattle pit, rattle hiss, watch them hips, excuse me miss. Miss the bus, kick and cuss, pick a sit down, sit and fuss. Stare and freeze, there she be. Look at how she, look at he. Cross the street, facing feet, bordering the 21 Hill Street. Ladies thought, maiden call, check the schedule on the wall. Pray that day comes, and on that day, thank the Lord she came his way. Wait, Sunday's best. What comes next is ancient text. Who Sunday comes, she's one and done, boarding the 21 Hill Street. Common law, common fall, searching for that maiden call. One and done on that 21. One and done. On that 21. Thank y'all for coming out. It's been a blessing sharing the stage with all of my favorite writers.